Hello everyone, welcome to the Geoecologist. I am Dr. Krishnanand, and in today's session on physical geography, we are going to learn about the concept of plate tectonics. So what is this plate all about? What do we understand when we say plate tectonics or plate movement? So we are going to learn in details the concept and theories of plate tectonics. But before we go ahead, do like and subscribe to our channel and please share the videos with others as well. So now let's learn about the concept of plate tectonics. So this plate basically refers to what? To the lithosphere basically. So lithosphere, as we know, is the crustal part of the earth, and lithosphere is the harder part which floats over the asthenosphere, as we have learned in the internal structure of the earth in previous lecture. So this is what is called plate. The second word is called tectonics. So basically it is the movement. So that's why we study the movement of these plates in the concept of plate tectonics. So the term plate tectonics was coined by Tuzo Wilson. Remember the name of the scientist Tuzo Wilson in 1963. And in 1967, Mackenzie and Parker suggested the theory of plate tectonics. So remember, Tuzo Wilson just coined these term plate, but further that theory was suggested by Mackenzie and Parker, and later on the full-fledged theory that was given in 1968 of plate tectonics is credited to Morgan and Pitcher. So remember, if a question is asked that who coined the term, so it is Tuzo Wilson. Who suggested the theory? So it is Mackenzie and Parker. But who developed the theory, or who proposed the theory, or who gave the theory? It is Morgan and Pitcher in 1968. So now, what is plate tectonics then? It is basically that the earth crust, that is lithospheric blocks, are broken into sections called plates, and plates move around on top of the mantle. And upper mantle is asthenosphere, which is partly molten in characteristic. So that is where it is softer and molten. So what happens? The plates tend to move on this molten matter. So that is how we understand the movement of plate in plate tectonic concept. Now, why do these plates move? So we can identify several factors that contribute to the movement of plates. First is called slab pull. The second is ridge rises and convection. So these are three important terminologies that we should remember, that there is some kind of pulling of slabs. So these slabs are what? The lithospheric blocks. Then there is ridge rise. So basically from the oceans we see that mid-oceanic ridges, the material is coming outside. So the material that comes outside is further deposited here on sides, and it pushes it further to move away from each other. So there is divergence creation, and also there is convection. So what happens beneath the crustal layer? We see that there is a convection of heat that keeps happening, and further it also leads to the movement on the upper surface. So that is what we understand by these three terms, that is slab pull, ridge rises and convection. There are two types of plates. So remember, one is called oceanic plates, that is plates below the oceans, and one is purely continental plates, that is plates below the continents. So two basic types of plates are oceanic as well as continental plates. So let's look further. So what we see that hot magma in the earth moves towards the surface, it cools down, and that it sinks again. So what happens? It creates a convection current. So that we understand. So basically we see that the hot magma which is here in the upper part of the mantle, that is asthenosphere, it comes out, further it cools down on the surface, and then in different zones again we see where trenches are there, which we also call subduction zones. So from there the material goes inside again. So this entire process of convection keeps happening. Now let's look at this map of the world, which we have active volcanoes, plate tectonics and ring of fire. So what we observe here is this particular areas of the world, which you see here as this margins of different plates. Specifically, this is called ring of fire. Why this is called ring of fire or Pacific ring of fire? All those volcanic eruptions as well as earthquakes keep happening on this particular line. So that is called ring of fire. Apart from that, we have mid-oceanic ridges like Mid-Atlantic Ridge and also the Indian Ocean Ridge. So these are important evidences that we talk about the plate movements. So that's important. In detail, let's learn further. So now let's learn about the names of major tectonic plates. So as we saw in the earlier map, we saw what was the major plate, Antarctica, then we have Northern and Southern American plate, then we have Pacific plate, then India, Australia, New Zealand plate, which is also called Indo-Australian plate, then we have African plate, then we have Eurasian plate. So in total, if we see, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7 major plates that we see, right? And then further, we have minor tectonic plates. So what are the names of various minor tectonic plates? Cocos Plate, Nazca, Arabian, Philippine, Caroline, Fuji, Turkish, Aegean, Caribbean, Juan de Fuca, Iranian. So there are numerous minor plates. So what we see is that these plates are between certain major plates. So we need to remember it, and how we can remember it? Through map. So I recommend that you all can pause the video where I showed you the map of the world, or you can draw it on your own and practice the names of these plates and look at their margins, that where are they located, because many times the question comes on the location of these particular plates. Also not just absolute but relative location. So relative location basically means that if there is a question that which of the following plate lies north or to the east or to the south of a given plate. So that is important. So direction wise a question can be asked in terms of relative location. So for this you need to practice various major and minor plates with the world map. For learning we can also make some kind of shortcuts that I see here. So N, CAP, CFA, CJI. So these are the first letters that I have made here, and then you can see N, CAP, CFA, CJI. So this is basically talking about all the minor plates. So you can make your own nomenclatures as well. You can put the names as well, short forms as well. But you must practice all these major and minor plates on the world map. That's important. Now further, let's learn about different kinds of plate boundaries. So plate boundaries are classified into 3 kinds. One is called convergent, then divergent, and third is transformed. So what is this convergent? Convergence means the meeting of 2 boundaries. That is why they are converging towards each other. So plates move towards one another. Divergent means they are moving away from each other. So they are diverging, right? So that is why these plates move away from each other. And transform basically means moving sideways. So they are not converging or diverging, rather than they are moving sideways from each other. So these are the 3 types of plate boundaries on the basis of their movements that have been identified on the Earth's surface. So divergent boundaries are what kind of boundaries, as we know? They are rifting away from each other. So that's important. So rifting causes sea floor spreading, as we learned about the concept of sea floor spreading given by Harry Hess. So what happens if this particular plate moves this way and this moves the opposite way? So from this between there is rise of material, right, from the hot molten magma coming from asthenosphere, and that spreads further, and that's why there is increase in what? Surface area of the Earth's crust. So now let's look at these divergent boundaries in terms of its features. So on continents, if there is a divergence, what happens? So Rift Valley, volcanoes and earthquakes are the important features of divergence when it is about the continent. But when it is oceans, then it is mid-oceanic ridge, volcanoes and earthquake. So one of the example that we quote always is the North American and Eurasian plate moving away from each other. So what we see here is, look at this Iceland, and from middle Iceland we see that this is a sea floor spreading happening through the rise of this mid-Atlantic ridge. So the material is coming out and further it is depositing in the form of this ridge line cutting across this entire Iceland into 2 parts, and that's why there are volcanoes as well in Iceland, you see here. So that is why it is important that divergent boundaries have these specific features that we learned. Now let's learn about the convergent boundaries. So convergent boundaries, when we see, there are 3 types of convergence. It basically means when 2 different types of material are converging. So let's understand this colliding or the convergence. So the first type is type 1, that we say, where one is oceanic crust, the other is also oceanic crust. So both of them which are going to meet are oceanic in nature. So then what kind of things are formed? Let's understand. So then island arcs and oceanic trenches occur. So remember, island arc and oceanic trenches. So we see oceanic trenches occurring and island arc formation where both the plates are oceanic in nature. Alright, so that's important. Apart from that, we see zones of active seafloor spreading can also occur behind the island arc, known as back arc basins. So remember, there what we see here is that there are back arc basins formation. So to explain back arc basins formation, we need to understand one more thing. That is, the denser plate is subducted underneath the lesser dense plate. So what happens when two oceanic plates are there, the denser one will go under the less dense one. Alright, so what will happen when it goes under, it further is exposed to the heat and it again melts down and comes out of the surface later on in the form of lava. So that lava deposition leads to this island arc formation as well, and also certain kinds of back arc basins formation as well. So that is where it is important to remember these terminologies like island arc, oceanic trenches, back arc basins, and that is where subduction zone is there. It basically means one is going below the other. That is why we say it to be subduction. So remember, a batsman when faces bouncer also ducks down. So that is where we say subduction. So it is going down. So which goes down? Which is more dense. That is one type. Second type is when oceanic crust meets continental crust. So now the nature of two different crusts are different. One is oceanic, one is continental. In this case, what happens? Again, there is subduction happening. So oceanic crust, which is denser, goes inside the continental one. So what happens here again? It goes down and again there is conversion of this material into lava, and through weak points it comes out as volcanoes on the continental crust, and that what we see as volcanic arc. So in the earlier we saw the island arc, now here we see the volcanic arc formation. So remember the example of Andes mountain where we see that South American plate is converging with the Pacific Ocean plate. So that is why this entire chain of Andes mountain is formed. Now the third type, that is where continental crust meets continental crust. So now the nature again is same. Earlier it was oceanic, then we have oceanic continental, now we have continental. So what happens in this case? Because both of them are very similar in nature, both of them are lighter in nature, so subduction is absent here. So one doesn't go inside as per the current theory. So what happens? The material which is here actually rises up because there is pressure from both the sides. So what happens? There is a formation of huge mountain range because of the collision of these two continental crusts. So the best example that we study is the Eurasian plate converging with the Indo-Australian plate. So the formation of entire Himalayan range. So that is the third kind of convergence that we study. Now, apart from the divergent and convergent, we know there is a third kind of boundary. So that is called transformed fault boundary. So the best example is this San Andreas fault. Look here. So this is relative motion of North American plate and relative motion of the Pacific plate. So this is where we see is the transformed movement, that is parallel to each other. Remember, it's not just one example here. There are numerous faults along this place and there are lots of important places to be marked. So remember this particular diagram. We have Explorer Ridge, Juan de Fuca plate, then you have Blanco fracture zone, then you have Mendocino fracture zone, then Murray fracture zone, Molokai fracture zone. All these fracture zones are important terminologies that are related to this San Andreas fault. So now when we have learned all the three kinds of plate boundaries, plate movements, let's also learn about the composition of the materials. So these oceanic plates are made up of basalt. So what is this basalt? It is dark, that is black and dense rock type composed of silicates, iron and magnesium. So for memory you can use this term SIM. So basalt is made up of SIM, that is silicon, iron, magnesium. Continental plates, that is majorly of granite and andesite. So it is light color, pink, white and grey, and low density rock type composed almost entirely of majorly of the silicates. So that's important, and that is largely the difference between oceanic plates composition and the continental plates composition. Now there is another important term that we should remember, that is Benioff zone. It is also called Benioff-Wadati zone or Benioff zone or Benioff seismic zone. So what is this? Let's understand. So when we talked about the meeting of the continental plate with the oceanic plate, and oceanic plate subducts down and it again melts and goes again back to the land in form of volcano. So we understand this process, but what is this Benioff-Wadati zone or Benioff seismic zone all about? The same subduction zone where this phenomena happens, basically where oceanic plate goes inside and converts into this magma. This particular zone is known as Benioff-Wadati zone. So remember this term that is associated to subduction zone, and that's why it is important. Now let's look at certain examples from world around. So we have Peru-Chile trench that we remember. We have Japan trench as well. We have Himalayan formation as well. So what do you observe here? One is where you have continent and one plate, and one is the oceanic plate. We have other plate, that is Eurasian plate here, and the Pacific plate here. So there is a meeting, and then you have Japanese trench, and then we have Indo-Australian and Eurasian plate, which are both continental, and then there is Himalayan formation. So these are certain examples. You can find more examples to learn. And at last, apart from the plate tectonics, there is another model. So we have already studied this plate model, that is movement of these lithospheric crustal blocks on the deformed, that is asthenosphere. But remember, there is another model to explain this movement, and that model is called plume model. So plate model and plume model were subsequently developed in 1960s only, and this theory, the plume model theory as well, was given by Tuzo-Wilson in 1963 only, and further Jason Morgan developed this entire theory in 1971. So this is called plume model. So plume model is basically the word coming from pluma, that is Latin word for a feather, down the first pair. So it is that material that comes to the surface in the form of lava from the mantle, and we know that there is lots of heat in the mantle zone. So this heat is released and magma comes out to the surface, and when this magma comes out to the surface, remember, it's important to understand that this leads to movement of the plates as well, that we study about plate tectonics, but this also gives rise to lots of volcanic features, and that we study specifically in the Pacific margin, that we also know by the Pacific Ring of Fire. So that model is called plume model, where this mantle plume becomes important. So there is lots of heat accumulation, convection going on, that leads to this plume theory that we study in the parallel theory of the plate tectonic theory. So now, when we have learnt about the concept of plate tectonics, the various attributes of plate tectonics, that is the plate margins and the features associated to it. So in the lectures to come, we are going to learn further about geosynclines and other concepts in physical geography. So stay tuned, stay safe, and all my best wishes.